Hey, Darren. Thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. I know how busy that you can be running all your different businesses there. Wanted to ask you a couple questions about working with Glen and the impact Glen had on your business and your sales. Tell us a little bit about Glen, how long he worked with you, and the effects that you saw on your businesses.
Sure, David. Glen was with us officially, it's just about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I met Glen prior to that as a trainer, and myself and my partners were impressed enough that we thought we'd try and get him full time.
Good.
So
Good. And when you saw him full time and you saw the training, what was it about his training that made you think, hey, maybe we should hire him and bring him onto the team?
So really for us, it's about implementation. I mean, the books are full of all kinds of great ideas, but really it's all about getting the rubber to the asphalt and making things happen. So, and helping people with that process, getting it done, so to speak. So that was something that we did, that we did experience when Glen came on board.
Great. And when he did come on board with you, Darren, how did that impact the sales of your company?
So we experienced exponential growth, and obviously the process is with additional sales came additional profit. So we experienced a substantial increase in sales numbers, and then of course the profit naturally follows.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that when I say process, obviously there's many, but the making of appointments was really something that that made a huge difference in solidifying and making those appointments on a regular basis, and finding a way to have people be comfortable in that process and achieve those high appointment numbers was the essence of the variance that we experienced.
Okay. And if you were to quantify, Glen starting with your company and there's a certain amount of appointments, and then by the time you left your company and there's a certain amount of appointments, like how much did that increase for you?
Well, it's hard to put an exact number on, but I would say there would be thousands, because not all appointments obviously result in a sale. As I said, we experienced significant growth on the sales side, and I believe it was through the exponential growth of the appointment process and bookings that really sort of synthesized through and resulted in better sales for us.
Great. And you were telling me that your company's expanded, 3 times over 4 years when Glen was working with you. What was the approximate amount of people that, you had group managers, you had executives, you had other managers that he coached and trained. What's the approximate amount of team members that he was, coaching and leading at the time? Do you know?
Yeah, it would be, close to 30. So he ran a team of 28, give or take, group managers and GMs, executives, GSM, sales managers, group wide. Give or take. When we started with Glen, we had 7 stores, and we now have 11 rooftops. So that growth also. The growth in appointments to sales to profit also expanded our rooftops and the amount of people we have on board to run them.
Great. And you guys have about 150 advisors that work with you, right?
That's correct.
How did Glen do? What was his training process like for them? How often did he train them? Was that a key to your success?
Absolutely. The first thing we did was buy some furniture. We created training rooms in all the stores. That would be, if you were to ask me what one thing about Glen is, and that is the training, the constant training that it just takes to have that process completed. It's easy to, as I say, people can talk about what needs to get done, but unless you really take somebody through it and on a daily basis and sort of keep at it. I used to tell I used to remind Glenn, you know, as kids, we had to brush our teeth, right? Our parents focused and pushed, and now just magically we brush our teeth twice a day without even thinking about it. Well, that's how the training has to be. It has to get to a point where it's almost second nature. So the consistency of it, and yeah, just the ongoing relentless training, and just made the difference. It really did.
Great. Well, Darren, I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for your insights there. It's much appreciated.
My pleasure, David. Enjoy.